Let's just pray. Lord, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable to you, my rock and my salvation. Amen. Our text verses for today are the one in Psalms 11, verse 3. If the foundations are destroyed, what can the righteous do? And also the one in Hebrews 6, verse 19. We have this hope, a sure and steadfast anchor of the soul. I would like to talk to you about babies, anchors, and candles. Babies, anchors, and candles. Everything is changing. And once I thought I had my handle on Wi-Fi, along comes Li-Fi. And I still don't know what it is. But I'm pretty sure when Li-Fi has come and I eventually know what it is, sci-fi might come. And something else, fi, might come. And it will take me a long time to get to know what it is. And then the second problem, if you're my age, how to use it. And once you get to use it, something else is coming. So I learn from the kids all the time. I'm a very good student. Changes. Everything is changing. It's not only the technology that is changing, but life is changing around us. It is like the foundations are being shaken. And I don't know if we all know what to do about it. Just last week, it was the attacks in Paris. We've seen it. And we were bound by the pictures. And before that, it was the refugee crisis. Thousands and thousands of people streaming into Europe. And we were like, what's happening? Earlier this week, there was a Russian plane shot down by the Turkish government. My goodness, we never thought we were going to see that. So all over the world, things are just changing. Not to speak about the weather. A few months ago, maybe 2 or 3 months ago, in the Middle East, they had temperatures of about 57 degrees Celsius. Now, that's hot. In Italy, they had these photos that we have here of cars melting of the heat. In South Africa, during spring, they've got spring now. Summer is only starting this week. But during spring, I think the end of October, they had soaring temperatures of 47 degrees in some places. It was really hot. Even for South Africa, that's hot. Not only are things changing around us with the weather, the politics, and all of that, also the church. After the Paris attacks, the Archbishop of Canterbury asked this question, and it shocked many people. Where was God? All over the church, things are changing. And most people, most Christians are asking, what is happening? It is as if all our foundations are being shaken in such a way that we feel unsafe. And that is where we find Paul's warning to us in Ephesians. We are like people on a rough sea. And the waves are just going wild among us. And we're like a ship being tossed all around. You see, in a time like this, it is where we must heed to the words of Hebrews 6, where the writer tells us that we have an anchor. You see, in a time like this, we need an anchor. That is what the writer to the Hebrews is talking all about. You see, he's talking about an anchor for the soul that is firm, that is secure, an anchor that belongs to a ship or a boat which is heavy. Now we know that an anchor is really important to a ship or a boat. We know the anchor is usually in the shape of a double hook. It's let down to the bottom of the sea to hook in whatever it can to stabilize the ship in rough and stormy weather. Now our text tells us this. It says, we have this hope. And it says, this hope is an anchor for the soul. So the anchor that we have is hope. Hope is so important. We can live without water maybe for 3 or 4 days if we're lucky. We can live without food for maybe 40 days if we're really lucky. But we cannot live without hope for 1 single second. Hope is important for each and every one of us. Hope is that thing that makes us go from the one day to the next day. That hope is that ingredient in us that we open our eyes in the morning and we get up for work and we go to work and we go through another day. Hope. Once we've lost hope, we're like a drifter in a stormy sea. And when things around us are crumbling, when things on all spheres of life are crumbling around us, we need an anchor. We need an anchor. Sometimes we think our anchor is in the good old days. And we long for the good old days when things were maybe better. Frankly speaking, things weren't better in the old days. We're just reminded of the good of the olden days. Now, this anchor, this hope that we need, strangely enough, this hope is in a manger. Today is the beginning of Advent. And the word Advent means coming or arrival. And the focus of the season is a preparation to celebrate Christmas, celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. But it has a double focus. Advent has a double focus on the past and the future. The focus is on Jesus who came, but it also focuses on Jesus who will come again. So our anchor reaches not the bottom of the sea, but right into a manger in a town called Bethlehem, where Christ was born. Our anchor is attached to a person, not to a doctrine. You see, it even goes further. It goes down more than just a manger. It goes right into a cross, a piece of wood on a lonely hill. It's that anchor that anchors itself in the good old story we sang about. I love to tell the story of Jesus and his love. That's where this anchor is going to. But it's going deeper than the cross. It's going right into an empty grave. It's going right into resurrection morning. And resurrection morning is so important. It says and it tells us there's a new morning waiting. A manger, yeah, a little baby. But deeper, death. But deeper, resurrection. What a hope. All of that spells hope. Hope even when we have to die, there's hope. And brothers and sisters, that's where the candle comes in. You see, during Advent time, every Sunday until Christmas Eve, we will lit a candle. It has such a huge and profound meaning. You see, the candle is itself important as a symbol of the season. The candle reminds us that Jesus Christ is the light of the world. Christ is the light that comes into the darkness. Every Sunday, when we come into church, we have on the altar 2 candles that's always lit. What a strong symbol. You see, the flame of each candle reminds us that something is happening, and yet some more is to come. You see, every time we lit a candle, it says, well, something has happened. Something is happening now. Hope is happening now. It's not only a yesterday thing. It's not only a past tense thing, but it is something that is happening now. There is hope now, and there is hope tomorrow. The first candle, the one that we lit this afternoon, is the candle of expectation. It's the candle of hope. Once again, our hope is not in a doctrine. Our hope is in someone. And we have to believe something about that someone. And every Sunday, we confess what we believe. We say loudly every Sunday when we have a Holy Communion, Christ has died. Christ is risen. Christ will come again. And this is what this candle is all about. A great man once said, the light of a candle is so powerful that no amount of darkness can extinguish it. The light of one candle, no darkness is enough to extinguish the light of one candle. In a very dark world, in a very dark world where we live and where we sometimes feel that things are just out of control, things happening all around us, all our foundations are being shaken, this is a reminder that we have hope. Our hope is in Him who said, I am the light of the world. And you know what is so fantastic? He didn't only say that about Himself. He said, I am the light of the world. And then He said to His disciples, you are the light of the world. How powerful is that? You see, brothers and sisters, wherever you go, and you have this light, the light of the world in you, that the light of the world that we celebrate during Christmas time, wherever you go, you extinguish darkness. But you know what? Wherever you go, darkness cannot extinguish your light. That's the power of the light of the world. Hold on to that. That is hope. That's hope. In other words, you and I, we are bearers of hope, not our own hope that we somehow try to produce, but we are the bearers of the hope of the world, Jesus Christ Himself. My prayer for this Advent season is that we look at this light inside of us, and that light can be rekindled, and that we find again the power of that light. You see, in our own lives, foundations might be shaken. What are we going to do if our health fails, if we were met by some catastrophic accident? What will happen when we or someone we love dies? It's that time when we know we have hope. And that hope, yes, is anchored in a manger. But moreover, that hope is anchored in a cross. That hope is anchored in an empty grave. That hope is in Him who says, I am the light of the world. That hope is in you. Paul says, Christ in you. Listen, Christ in you, the hope of glory. Amen.